3 months ago, I bought an extremely rare early 70s Hoverbug hovercraft off Facebook Marketplace with one goal: a full restoration. In the first episode, I discovered the engines weren't seized, but nearly everything else was. Frozen electric and recoil starters, locked up carburetors, and parts that haven't been made in decades. In this episode, the focus is the Tillotson HD carburetors, where cleaning turns into heating, grinding, drilling, and weeks of waiting for impossible to find parts. Stick around to see if these engines run, and whether this Hoverbug has any chance of flying ever again.
I did make a tool for this carburetor because for some reason you can't get a wrench on this bolt here. Not at all. So if I figured out, if I made one, just might work. So let's see. I'm going, if I went the right way, it would help. Tighten it a little bit. This is an 11/16, so come on. Get over there. Oh, come on. Oh, I got it. Let's see if you can see it. Just barely. This one over here is loose because it's easy to get loose. So they probably stopped messing when they couldn't get this one done, but made a tool. Probably could have bent it a little more, but this is just a thin, cheap wrench from Amazon. Holy moly, progress, progress, progress. Here's the carb. Looking nasty as ever. That gasket was not sealed at all. So if anybody had been trying, they weren't going to succeed very well. It just wasn't seated. So, all right, now let me get to this one, see what I can do. Here are our carburetors, thanks to one of the members of the Hover Club of America. And they did tell me which ones these were. These are Tillotson carbs, 466 Tillotson carbs. So there's like a bigger bore size. So they told me, hey, the bigger ones. And when I found that these seem to be the right one, and I'll show you here in one of these, I think I broke off this screw here that's in the kit. So we'll see if we can get to that in this setting. But I've got them in a little tub here. This tub has ATF in it. I poured ATF on it. I've rotated them 3 or 4 different times to get to different edges of them. I've soaked them in blaster. So now I'm going to rinse them off with some carb cleaner and degreaser, clean them a little bit, and then get them up on the table here, see if I can't start to take them apart. But if these screws and everything are seized, I think we're going to have an issue. I think heat's going to be, maybe one of our only options. But before that, I might put them in the ultrasonic parts washer, clean them up, see if we can see if we can get them clean first and free before we start heating it up. All right, now we're all sprayed off here, mostly. Drying up, and I do know there has been some work on at least one of these because this is the thrust engine carb, and then this is the lift engine, and it's got a different screw than what is the actual one. So we're gonna try take all these little hoses off first. Not sure what this one is for. Maybe creates a vacuum, but so I think this is the inlet is my guess, and this is the return line. So I think these have a return line, but I could be guessing. We'll find out once if we actually ever fix these. This one I need to look inside of the engine. There was dirt and crud up inside of that intake. Just a flippin' mess. So I really need to make sure it's cleaned out before we do any more running on that thing. Yeah, this is a good mess here. Yeah, this one is seized up pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, just like this one, it has movement wait. Nope, stop, don't bend. So I think this side has movement, but this side has none. Yeah, just the slightest movement, but not enough, not quite. Don't want to break it. Let's see if we can take any of these screws out before we disassemble it, put it in the parts washer. So next it does say Tillotson, Toledo, made in USA. Small cork gasket, very small round screen. Let's see if we can get any deeper. Oh. Here's my fear, is it? They're probably down in here. My fear is that I'm gonna have to cut the heads of the bolts off, pull these little layers off, and then extract the stud. But if it broke off down here, that's gonna be a pain, so I gotta be careful. But, you know, I'm probably gonna have to chase all these threads if I don't replace these screws, but yeah, this one's disgusting. The problem with this one, this screw, that is where it's supposed to be, and it broke off deep down in there, so that one is going to be an interesting bugger. I'm guessing they line up this one. These little half circles are probably there, and there's two holes that line up with that, and these two holes line up with that one. So it should go back together fairly simply. There we go. I think this is our pump diaphragm under this one. I'm gonna be able to clean this one well. The other one, yeah. Alright, good news. There's all these little tabs and they're clocked, so I won't be confused putting it back together. I mean, I will be, but still. Now, I can't remember if these need to come out. There's little, yeah. There's one cap. Okay. So the two little caps here. Come out of there. I don't know how to get them out. Don't know how to get them out. Man, the rest of this is just so dirty. So rusted, busted, crusted. Was our needle and seat here? I'm not sure. I do know we do have a replacement spring for that. Find the right socket for this needle. Oh, the needle came out, so there's our needle. This was not a bad shape, but let's see what size the new one is. Maybe I have to grind down a socket. It is a 10 millimeter, but it appears to be a very, I don't know how, but you need a very tiny 10 to get down in there. This probably doesn't need to come out. It's probably not good to take it out, but I did because this is so bad. I just can't leave it. I'm not sure what that is in there, but it doesn't look like we have a replacement for it, so we'll leave it alone. So here's what's going to happen. I've bought an ultrasonic parts cleaner, and it comes with this little guy, but I also bought this one. So we're going to put all these components, as many as possible. Clearly the small ones we're going to keep in this little tray. So all the screws and everything. And then got some cleaning solution, degreaser. We're going to follow the directions and we're going to let it run. We'll let it rip, Tater Chip. This one, which is basically completely apart, will be easy. We'll clean well, that 10 millimeter. This one I'm going to put in just like it is, and maybe cleaning it and doing everything else will help, but I have no idea. So I think amazingly I may have found 10 that work. Oh, there we go. Just got to make the tools. There we go. Now since this has a replacement over here in the stuff that gets replaced pile. This is a cheap Rowmark Amazon with a 3-liter, pretty deep, clearly pretty big ultrasonic cleaner. I know a lot of folks put a lot of different things in there. Some like Pine Sol. I bought this Zep Ultra Heavy, Concentrated Heavy Duty Citrus Degreaser. AI said it would work, so who am I not to trust AI? And citrus smells great. But what's cool about this ultrasonic cleaner, it's heated, timer, and it has a drain. So it comes with a hose and a fitting, and I can drain it. So here's the basket. Let me put our items in the basket. Let's see how it fits. 30 minutes, 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know how well you can see it. It did have like colonies and stuff floating up, but now it's just making ultra annoying noises and it's working. All right, cover this up and let it go. Come back in 30 minutes. Just finished. Let's see what we got here. Definitely had to open up all these heads of these screws because it's not good. Now it started to turn. No. All right, well. Definitely didn't help open up my flapper at all. So it's going back in the drink, and I'm just going to let it sit in the degreaser overnight. I'm not going to have the parts washer on. I'm just going to let it sit in the degreaser and do whatever it wants to do tonight. And then I will maybe run it again in the morning and then try to take that, get back to this other one. When I get back to the other one, I will heat up all of those bolt locations or whatever else needs to be heated up. You can probably hear the noises. So it sat all night with the parts in there. Then I ran it for 30 minutes as the temperature got up to 40 degrees Celsius. Then again, it got to 50, and now it's been going for what, 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius. So let's see what we got. I'm just going to go ahead and shut her off here. These are definitely looking good. I still definitely have to get this bolt that I broke out of here, but there's an O-ring. I'm going to have to drill that out, but yeah, that's going to be a thing. Still a little crusty on here, but I've been doing a bit of research on this carb, and I think I'm ready to put it back together. So, like I showed, I tried to drill this out. My easy out broke off in this hole. One confusing part is this other hole, it's just the casting depending on this is the HD13. So they're both HD13s. This is just a casting hole. There are additional set screws on these carburetors, different versions, but not this one. But this side, this is the low speed jet, so the idle jet set screw. I'm just going to roll with it and hope that it is what it is, and we don't have to worry about it because hopefully it is set where it needs to be. I mean, it's as clean as it's going to get, so I think we're fine. Another thing is here, there's an additional hole, so you got the 3 holes that hold on the filter cover. This doesn't come with anything, but I know nothing fell out. I think the only thing that holds it in is the cover itself, but there is a spring and a ball bearing that goes down in there. So when this choke shaft is in there, there's a little indent there for that ball to basically stop on. So that is a thing. People delete these chokes, I guess, and they just use their hand until it starts, but I'm going to put my choke back in there. Also, I found that under here, I guess some people who rebuild these don't necessarily take these apart or open these little access covers up. And, I mean, mine is really dirty, so go ahead and do it if yours is as dirty as mine. But if it's not, you might be fine. However, this one just has this little brass piece in there, and I tried to pull it out, but I couldn't get it to do anything, so I left it alone. Others, if you watch almost all the other teardown videos of these Tillotsons HDs, they have a ball valve in there. But what you'll also see is they only have 2 stacks of these. So what we've got here is an extra layer, and apparently that extra stack does whatever this ball valve used to do. So you don't have a ball valve on this one. And then needle and seat here, the new one, it looks a little smaller than the old one, which is fine, the diameter, because it's really the seat itself. But what's good about it is this one just it's just a very simple needle and this actuator thing that presses on it. So there's a spring in here, and this goes in, down there, whatever. But the new one is shaped like a Y, a fork, and it slides on the bottom back of this seat to hold it in place. So that's good as well. And that's about it as far as interesting things I learned about this carb. But and not all of them have the return. So this is the return line. So not all of them have the return line. So I did learn this is the return line. And then this line. So this is this little clear plastic line, and that goes to the crankcase. And that clear plastic line going to the crankcase actually is the vacuum that runs this pump. So you're going to get the vacuum pump for this thing. So you're going to pay attention to some of these because this one has a mini O-ring on it. But as far as the needle, the seat, do not see an O-ring. So first thing I'm going to do is put these two caps on. And all they do is take like a drift like this and apparently you don't have to hit it that hard. It sells in there pretty nicely. What the new kit does not come with is, so it does come with a new spring, it looks like, for the needle and seat. So it comes with this new lever, and obviously this one's forked, one is not. It comes with a new needle. There's a very slight difference there, but I don't know if you can see the difference in size. And then I'm taking the old spring, I'm measuring it up against, there's 3 little springs in here. I'm trying to see which is which is which. Ah! Come on, man! I may have confused which is which. All right, so the old spring is longer. Very small spring, so I got the closest one that fits it. So what this kit does not come with is this little rod and the screw. The rod goes through this holder. The spring sits in its little home. Wait, stop. Collaborate and listen. I should put my my seat in first. That would be a good idea. Went to snug. All right, now we can put the spring needle, tiny screw on this diaphragm. This little nub is what activates the lever. And apparently what Tillotson says, you can see this is up. And it shouldn't be up. But apparently someone had posted the Tillotson manual, and it just says to bend this until it's flush. So yeah, I said to bend that until it's flush with the housing, so that's pretty close. Let me go a little further. There we go, it's working. All right, so this is put together. Let's start installing the rest of this. Now I'm not gonna completely finish this thing. And what I mean by finish is tighten this down completely because, and maybe I can work on the other stuff real quick. Yeah, because I ordered new screws. So all these screws are pretty rough. So I went ahead and ordered new screws and new washers. So I ordered some, they're all Phillips head, they're all stainless. So I got some stainless screws to go with this thing because, yes, why not? The rest of these are terrible, but I will put the screws in just a little bit, just to hold it in enough. I don't even know where this one went. I'm gonna leave this bracket off until a later date. Now I'm gonna do something probably not supposed to do, but I care, but I don't. With as bad as these carbs were, I want to get the life out of it, or at least as lucky as possible, lucky as I can. I looked online, there's only one I could even find, one carb even available, and yeah, it was $70. Well, no, it wasn't available, sorry, it was recently sold. So there was one recently sold carburetor that they had listed for like $70. So there were none others that were this model, so that was a thing. One of these plates is smaller than the other one, so it's definitely easier to tell. Well, that is the throttle blade, and it's looking great. Good news is our throttle adjustment screw is actually turnable. It doesn't come with this one either, but all right. That's so cool. One more. So I didn't break this, but this is supposed to be a longer piece here, so that's a thing. It bent. I mean, it was so jammed in here, and the other one's so jammed as well. It's going to take some work and some heat to get it free, but it bent. So I did take emery cloth and twist it up and kind of ream these holes out. Hopefully it'll give me somewhat of a fighting chance. I just slid it in there, slid in pretty easy. This hole goes up here towards the fuel pump, so the hole faces the fuel pump as if no one's ever messed with that other one, and it's actually correct. I think it is. This thing had, in my first video, I gotta look at it again, it's got like 4 hours on it, the entire machine, so it's crazy how lightly this thing was actually run. But now I need to contact all the people, make sure I can get a registration for it, because North Carolina is not a fun state to do this. Yeah, well, that's how it's supposed to open that easily. But yeah, in the video I saw he just deleted it and JB welded up those holes, so I don't think either one of my springs. So this spring I think would, I'm gonna do a little play here in this guy, but whatever. It's just the choke. So I think this spring would be the spring to go in there, and there would be a ball in there, but I'm guessing if it did have that, it's been lost for quite some time. Was this a 13 millimeter? Sure was. Just snug it. That's all I'm doing. And then this one has a O-ring that goes in there. That one looks about right. Some of these kits don't actually have this T. People really like the T. So you're supposed to go all the way down and then turn it back off one, I think. It's all the way down. Half a turn, full turn. So based on this, I do have a few extra. That one I'm pretty sure is not going to be used. This gives us 2 of these. That's good. So I've got a few extra things in here, but these are what we're after. And these only go one way. So this one goes first. So they're only clocked one way, and then what you'll notice is these so they match up nicely. If we start with this circle one, it's only going to go one way. There we go. Everything lines up there. It's going to go like that. Then obviously this detent pushes on the lever there for the needle and seat, and we're on, just like that. From just a second ago, I know that this goes here, and now there's little round areas that match up. Taking this off, people said these are hard to get off and they hit it from the side, but this has these little square notches, and there's space enough to just pop a screwdriver under there and it pops right up. So that was a thing that I did, and it worked good. Now, and then this one is next. And like I said, they only go one way, so you are not going to be able to do it wrong. I guess you could try putting this, so this will not go, it'll only go one way, so don't worry about what side. It looks like it's the exact same on both sides anyway. And that's it. I'm only going to do like 3 screws here. Like I said, since my others are on the way. I don't even remember where this was clocked at. Guess I could just loosen it pretty easily and readjust it, so that's what will happen. So this is the fuel return. This is the fuel intake. All right, 1 carb rebuilt, 90% of the way. Did miss something as I was twisting off this little needle thing on the other carb. I did realize that there's a little, it's like a cardboard washer. It's not an O-ring. It goes on the bottom of this brass piece, so that's important. I found it over here in my stack of junk. There is a brass seat for this in there, but it's got notches, but I put my screwdriver down in there and I could not get it out, so I just decided to leave it. And everything's just snug on this now. And something else. So underneath this little cover, I believe, is also a filter. And this is a different type of inlet than others. Others have an actual screw-on. I think it'll fit on this with the stud. It's a screw-on filter that goes here. But yeah, there's a little screen. And the screen goes under this, and then screen first, then the O-ring that does come in the kit, and then this cover. All right, well, regardless of speed, progress is progress. I've run, this is the lift engine carb. I've run it an hour and a half through the ultrasonic parts cleaner. It's not looking bad at all. Going to spray out a few little things here, but it's getting better. Down here was absolutely disgusting. So the only problem, this actually came apart much better than I thought until this one screw hole right here. That screw broke off and kind of broke off one of the locating tabs, but that I think that'll be just fine. Not worried about the locating tab, but I got a few threads in there, so I'm going to do my best. I don't know. I can't tell. It looks like it might be too far from the edge, but I was able to run the tap and get a few threads in there. But I'll line it all up once I get the blades and stuff in here and see if I can't get some Loctite on there so it'll hold it down, because it's just one screw, the rest are all okay. And then I did get some screws, so ordered all these on Amazon. So they're a Phillips head, not flathead. They're the right pitch. These do have a small lock washer on them, so I also ordered a packed assortment of lock washers, so should be pretty good here. And here is one of our holes that's threaded. It looks pretty good. So yeah, I already recorded going through the other one, so I'm not going to bore you with this one unless there's any weird details in with this screw. But I do have to cut these down. They are a little longer, but that's pretty simple. There's multiple ways to cut down screws. The only other thing, the thrust, this one, I got to take these discs off again. And then I'm going to take the needle and seat out real quick, because down in here, there is a very small copper washer. And I don't remember seeing that. I didn't take it out of this one. So this one I had to reach in here and get it out. So I just want to take that one out, make sure it's clean under there, down there, and make sure that washer didn't fall out in the parts cleaner or something, because that is what it is. But other than that, that one's ready. So hopefully these do well. Well, you can see it's a winter wonderland outside, so I'm not going to get out to the craft to do anything, but I'll get these ready, knock it out, and hopefully soon enough I can be ready to get out there. Well, here we go. 2 complete carburetors, both in really good shape now. Actually work. Really nicely. There is I guess there is a test. You can put a vacuum on here and see if it's got, what do they call it, the pop-off pressure or something like that. You can see here, this has the adjusting screw. And I guess this is the idle speed, and then this one is broken off. So, like I said, I couldn't get that one out. But of the screws here, I did get the one that was broken to tighten, kind of. So I had to put 2 washers on it, and it's got Loctite there at the bottom, but it seems like it tightened enough. So maybe the worst one is the best one. I don't know. Or I'll see if this idle speed actually works. When the weather breaks, I've got this auxiliary fuel tank. So this is for testing motorcycles. I'll be able to hang this up and run the fuel hose, test these out, and I'll have to run a line from the return line into something. Maybe I can get it back into here. I'm not sure, but I'll give it a try. But I got to wait for the weather to break a little bit, and I've got a couple more things to put on it. New spark plugs. These were $2 at Walmart. This rebuilt starter, this rebuilt recoil starter, and then I do have to put on condenser. So that's next. If you stuck around this long, thanks for watching. Very interesting rebuild on these carburetors. All the other carbs that I've seen rebuilt online were not even nearly this bad. I don't think any of them took out blades for the throttle and the choke. So I had to take them out because they were seized and, you know, a lot of heat. So that was it. The heat, parts cleaner, ultrasonic parts washer. So a lot of good things that I had to do to test my own skill and learn about these. So you might have noticed earlier in the video, I did sneak a little trinket for the next episode where I did get the thrust engine to fire on starting fluid. I wanted this episode to be all about getting it started, finishing these up. So much time went into these. I just made this its own video. So episode 3 will be finally putting all the parts I just walked through back on, getting the second engine to start. And then hopefully that video can also be hooking up this auxiliary tank and getting them to run. So that could be 2 worth 1 or 2 more episodes, but I'm going to get this thing going and then fix the plastic, probably with fiberglass, and then I'm going to build a skirt, make it float, and then I'll make it look nice. So stick around. It's going to be a trip. I can't wait to get this thing further along than what we are. Again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.